Hi everyone, comic book reviewer here. This time reviewing on another horror film, and this one is on the 2002 film The Eye. Now, as you know, the 2002 film The Eye is meant to be a supernatural horror film, which was directed by the Ping brothers, who did The Eye 2 and The Eye 10. And if you remember before, I did review the American counterpart, The Eye, from 2008. And after sitting down to watch it, after kind of getting this copy off eBay, my best thoughts about the 2002 one, it's there to be a simple, straightforward film from Hong Kong, and obviously being kind of like a prototype to where the 2008 film had to work with what was given. So the premise of the film is meant to follow 20-year-old Hong Kong classic violin player Wong Kar-mon, who basically has been blinded since the age of 5. We see how she gets a eye cornea transplant, and we see how her grandmother, as well as her sister, are happy and joyful that she's got her sight back. I give the film credit is slowly building things up to be happy-go-lucky at first. Like, we kind of see how her grandmother obviously shows her some videotapes and that, and she looks kind of like making sense of the world around her. Until strange things start happening is where you get the sense that Wong not only has to kind of now see the sort of realistic sides of her newfound eye transplant, but also having to make sense of this newfound world, this new dark reality that she wasn't really familiar with. I give the film credit is actually building up to where we're obviously going to see that there's more stuff going on, like these dark specters showing up where she's obviously going to be close to people who are close to death. And I think the sort of scenes with Ling Ling actually works a lot more because, one, you kind of get this sense it actually builds it up a bit more tragicer. And I think the problem that the 2008 one, they just kind of quickly got rid of Ling Ling's American counterpart than actually making it more tragic and heartfelt and deep. I can kind of see where also the film is trying to show how Wong Kar-mon has to kind of not only see the harsh reality of things, but you get this sense that Dr. Ra also has to kind of be the voice of reason to her, find out where her newfound eyes originally came from. And this is where I give the film credit is also showing just how obviously Ling obviously had similar things that happened to her. But I think this is where I think the American counterpart fixed a bit more, because it made sense Ling tried to be a hero in her own mind, but she wasn't cut out to be one. Her American counterpart did. The only difference is the American counterpart did more with Jessica Alba's character, making sure that her gift and ability didn't go in vain, and made the effort to try and help people when there was a big moment happening. I can see where the American counterpart was just meant to show that, the Hong Kong counterpart was meant to show that Wong Kar-mon thought she could try something and do something to not let Lin's ability and gift go to waste. But it's clear it wasn't meant for the world. But I can kind of see where the film is a bit of a mixed bag, where obviously the American counterpart had to work more with the sister. It obviously had to work more with obviously Wong Kar-mon's counterpart, or the American counterpart, having to make sense with all these other specters in different areas, different places, and so forth. Here it is trying to rely on a sort of different horror that I think the Ping brothers weren't really going to be too familiar with. Again, is the 2002 film The Eye's a good film? Yes. Has it got moments where it is redeemable? Sort of. I think it's kind of okay, kind of alright, but it obviously knows it has to be a film fitting things in for a sort of horror film that obviously has to be a little inspired by Sixth Sense. It obviously has to be a story about the dangers of being careful of obviously getting transplants from people that you aren't too familiar with and the dangers that it could have. So it definitely deserves thumbs in the middle. Kind of alright, kind of okay, but still a good film nonetheless, despite some awkward moments. So, comic book reviewer here, signing out.